The U.S. and Poland are holding an international conference about Mideast affairs today. This on the heels of Secretary of State Mike Pompeo's visit to the eastern bloc of Europe this week. This as Poland now offering up a hefty sum of $2 billion in an effort to attract the U.S. to build a permanent Air Force base on their soil, an offer which has many European allies wondering what comes next. Here to discuss, we'll have attorney and former Naval Intelligence Officer John Jordan. John, thanks for being with us today. So tell me, why do you suspect that Poland wants the U.S. to build an air base there?
Well, a couple of things. First of all, there's the historical reasons that Poland may want this is to poke the Russians, and perhaps they have some distant security concerns, but Russia isn't going to roll over the Ukraine, Belarus, and come crashing across the Vistula into Warsaw. That's not going to happen. Poland's part of NATO and is under the American military umbrella. The $2 billion they're offering is just the beginning. I mean, this long-term cost and the continued stretching of the American military commitment into other places where it really doesn't do us no good and costs us money is just going to be a net expense to the American taxpayer when we have enormous facilities just 100, 200 miles west in Germany. So this is for Poland. It's not in the interest of the American taxpayer because of all of the ongoing costs of maintaining a presence there that does absolutely really nothing essentially for NATO and absolutely nothing for the United States.
Now, I'm glad you brought up Germany because NATO allies had murmurs about cutting American troops in Germany, but the U.S. NATO ambassador Kay Bailey Hutchison denies that. She says that the 30,000 some odd troops will remain in Germany. Doesn't this mean, though, that we are simply continuing a buildup of U.S. troops just closer and closer, inching closer to Russia?
Well, not if we stay in Germany. I mean, if you have a NATO base in Poland, that would certainly be true. But like I said before, there's no real reason for that. As for the American troop presence in Germany, the real value of the Rhine-Main bases and all of the other bases in Germany is their staging areas for the Middle East. They're logistical choke points, the hospitals and the airports and the cargo infrastructure and all of the things that you never see on TV that really makes a military go. So if they reduce the number of troops, no big deal. If in a time of crisis, they can just be flown over and mated with their pre-positioned equipment. So a lot of this may be just for show on the Europeans' part.
And, Poland is one of the few countries that are actually meeting their NATO financial commitments. But as such, a permanent U.S. presence shouldn't be some sort of reward, should it? I mean, what kind of precedent might this set if that happened?
Well, it certainly is an unwelcome precedent, certainly from the point of the U.S. taxpayer. Then who's next? The Baltics, Bulgaria, some of the other former East Bloc countries. There's no real gain for American security or NATO security by doing this. It's just it's a prestige thing for Poland. It's an opportunity to poke the Russians, and that's really all it is on the backs of the U.S. taxpayer. So I think that money is better spent on improving our facilities in Germany, which have implications for our ability to deploy forces in the Middle East. It does nothing for NATO.
And last, John, what do you make of this conference about the Middle East? What role has Poland really played in the wars happening there?
Well, not much. I mean, different countries, disparate countries, have hosted these sorts of conferences in the past. I mean, Germany hosted years ago a significant conference on Afghan reconciliation. I don't think the fact that Poland is hosting it is particularly important, one way or the other. I mean, it's just a diplomatic coup for them. All parties are welcome. The Middle East is going to take the involvement of everybody to solve. But I wouldn't put too much weight on the fact that it's located in Poland, at least for this particular conference.
And President Trump and Mike Pompeo also seem pretty keen at this idea of hosting an air base there. And you've pointed out multiple reasons of why this would not be a good idea, especially for the average citizen, how it affects us, that our tax dollars go to that. But Poland keeps doubling down and saying, hey, we'll build these great new schools for American troop families there. We'll build new housing. Doesn't this sound like it just really ultimately benefits them only?
Yeah, this is Poland looking out for Poland, and one can credit them for that. I mean, make Poland great again, right? But at the end of the day, you look at not just the startup costs, which Poland is willing to subsidize, the schools and all of that, all the other infrastructure. It's the ongoing cost to the American taxpayer of paying and stationing troops there, maintaining it. That's going to fall on the backs of the Defense Department's budget. Moreover, that's more American troops deployed overseas and further stretching a largely overcommitted American military.
All right, we have to leave it right there. Thank you for enlightening us on that topic. John Jordan.
Hey YouTube, thanks for checking out our channel. We hope you enjoyed the video. We have tons of content for you just like this. For more of RT America's one-of-a-kind news and analysis, be sure to subscribe and never stop questioning more.